Okay, everybody. As I stated before, we are at Miss Antoinette Rogers Insurance Agency. So I just didn't feel right to have this conversation and not ask any questions about insurance. But this is, I think, is relevant. Everybody want to hear this. Now, one of our goals is, buy land to build communities, right? So we want about like 25,000, 10,000 acres at a time and build on it. We want to have homes, have schools, grow our own food, have raise our own fish, all these different things that we want to do. And can your agency insure that?
Yes. We insure so many things from, vacant properties, renters insurance, homeowners insurance. And I think what you're doing is very important because even before we get there, it's important for people to think of how they can protect themselves now and then how to protect the legacy moving forward. So you want to make sure that, your kids, your grandkids are properly insured. So whether that's through life insurance, renter's insurance, having the right liabilities when you're out driving, all of those things are very important.
So let's say we get this built, we got these houses and apartments and these stores and restaurants on this thing, and then something happened and all of that get burnt down or something, whatever. And could farmers insure that?
Yes, Farmers is a huge company, been around for 90 years. And I don't know if you guys see the commercials, but we've seen a lot. And when they say that, they truly mean it. We've seen many types of claims, and we're able to make sure that, our policies are able to insure those things.
You said something before, but I want you to remind me again. It was very interesting how actually insurance got started, period.
Well, insurance started with a group of farmers, surprisingly, back then everyone would grow, kind of what you're trying to do, grow crops to feed their family and use that as, a way to make money. And so when their tractors and things broke down, they came together and decided ways, how can we insure these things? So when they break down, or how can we replace these things? Because these are so important to us or them and their families eating and having a place to stay. These,
right.
Tools or their food, anything that they have were, insured and can be replaced. And that's what's very important, if something that you have is not there anymore, how can you make sure that it's replaced without
right.
having to start from scratch? So
right. That's very important because I deal with a lot of ideas of sustainability to sustain us so we can perpetuate it over the years. And that's very important that something like that happens, we can start all over and do it again if we needed to, and then we won't just be up, a creek, without a paddle. So, with that being said, I want everybody to know that we have a few systems in place to sustain us. But insurance is more like an assurance to me. And when she was educating me on that, and the things that we can do, not just for the land, but for individuals and people that come on board, and all these different things that you can do. And she was just telling me that, and maybe one day we just talk only about that. But to ensure that we have these things, that's why I'm glad I met her, and that's what brought me to her, because the education that she has is unlike any other education I've ever had regarding insurance. And I know we're talking about homeless veterans, but in the situation of resolving it, but I think this is a key part of it, and what she does. And one person can't do everything. By her being educated so well and so young, at this time, I'm so proud of that, and then to teach us all something and nationwide. So with that being said, we want to start our sustainment from ourselves, because I really believe empowerment starts from within. As long as you're begging, that's not empowerment. So I believe that we can start our organization with $7 a month from every veteran and active duty personnel. And you can actually download Vimo and send it to the phone number of $7 a month. We can keep track of everything. And the number is 773-407-8011. And you're going to see a presentation so you can have a visual of these things that we're going to do with the buying land, building communities, having more money in your pocket, and all that kind of stuff. And I've lived in a situation where I was homeless before, and lived in a shelter, and lived in places they built for veterans. And we're grateful to be in a home and not to be homeless, right? But when you live in some of these places, you can feel like the people that built them didn't build it as if they were going to live into it. Sometimes it feels just like that's good enough. And with that being said, I believe just because you might be poor don't mean you have to look poor. No one has to treat you poor. But your mind is not poor. That's just the currency you don't have. So, and I also believe that, you know, we may not be able to, compete with the finances of the 1%. But we can definitely mimic the lifestyle that we come together, buy the land to build communities, and nickel and dime ourselves to success instead of to death. And that's what I want to do. That's what we're doing. Because it's not about me. A lot of veterans, I believe, we deserve this. I hear so many civilians talk about, it's a shame that veterans can't get jobs and this and that and all that kind of stuff. And if you don't mind, I want to mention something real quick that reminds me of kind of why this happens. And I was reading a book of veteran entrepreneurs, okay? And it was almost like a rags to riches story. And one of the men said, if you are a good upstanding citizen, you can be considered a sheep, right? And if you are a violent individual, you can be considered a wolf. But if you are peaceful enough to deal with the sheep and violent enough to deal with the wolf, you're a sheepdog. And that's what the veteran is. And then it all makes sense to me. Because sheepdogs living among the sheep doesn't work, does it? Totally two different animals, totally two different mindsets. And I can't tell you how many veterans I actually met that actually made it in the corporate world or got jobs in there, and how much flack they get from their peers and their superiors. You know, saying, because we got the mentality first in, first out, complete the mission. So when we doing that work every day, and then they feel like we're making them look bad. What are you trying to do? You all kind of cracking jokes and negative feedback from doing such a good job. So now the veteran don't understand. So you can never train a civilian, and you can never untrain the veteran. So what do? Only people that can make a change are the veterans. So why not live our own legacy ourselves? And that's not just the only problem. And we can get into that later.
The one thing I wanted to bring up too was, so many, veterans may feel they may not have so much funding, but, we have great discounts available for veterans, for home and auto. So insurance can be affordable, for sure.
Okay. Thank you for that again. And that's very good information. And guys, take heed. And if you have any questions, you can feel free to put them below on YouTube, or you can email us.